Happy Christmas, everyone. I hope you're all having a joyful Christmas time, and we are finally getting to decorating Old King's Cottage. I actually shot this footage a little while ago, but I really wanted to take the time to do some outings because I know many of you can't get out, and so I wanted to fill this month with as many outings as we could. So let's stoke up the fire and get started with my little bit of decorating Old King's Cottage. And I will apologize for my first shot here is going to be a bit blurry because the camera wasn't focusing, but such is the life of the YouTuber. Well, let's get to Old King's Cottage and decorating. Good day, everyone. We are at Old King's Cottage today, and we're going to finish decorating for Christmas. I've got the fire lit, and it's nice and toasty in here, and the tree is lit with just some of the basic things on, and I've added a few things to the mantle. I'm not going to be doing my animal tree at Bunny Hall this year, so I've taken some of the animals to kind of disperse around. So I'll show you later with a close-up shot. I've added a few of my animals to our ongoing decoration here for the mantle here. So let's get going. I'm going to start with some garland. I have this garland that I really like. It's sometimes tinsel can be tacky, but sometimes it's fun. But I really like this tinsel because see how it's basically like Christmas tree pine with just a bit of white and sparkle in. So I'm going to add that basically just to fill out this tree a little bit because it is a faux tree. This really thin garland, or this really thin tinsel. So it has an almost 50s vintage feel. So I thought maybe adding a little tinsel like that would give it a little sparkle. So, and then we'll be adding our various ornaments. So let's get decorating. So I have the garland on, and now I'm going to hang. I have my vintage, shiny bright, vintage 50s, 60s ornaments. I also have a set of these that are in blue and red that I was going to put on this tree. I think I'm going to use those on our natural tree. Even though I'm putting natural things on there, I think the little bit of 50s sparkle will be kind of fun. So now I'm going to hang these vintage ones. And then I just have a collection of random fun ornaments that are in that theme. The pickup truck, a red snowflake with a tartan stags. Even these are little gift tags, but aren't they sweet? And they have little clips. They're meant to clip on packages. I'm just going to clip those on the tree. So I'll add that, and then we'll see how it looks. So let's have a look at our handiwork. I'm pretty happy. It's a very simple tree, but by using the collection of animals and sort of rustic ornaments, the old truck, mixed with my shiny bright 50s ornaments, I think they work well together. And a few of my little animal cutout ornaments, natural looking pine cone type ornaments. I just think it's a fun mix and perfect for Old Kings. And of course, more animals. And I do love a stag ornament at Christmas time. And I think these little paper tags with the little clothes pegs are really sweet. I definitely will keep those and use those every year. And then, of course, for our tree topper, the happy little owl. I always try to have an owl on all of my Christmas trees somewhere. And then to the mantle. You can see I did use the tags here as well. I just thought they looked really sweet. And then the cute bear. And see, don't you think the tags look darling with the old truck? I mean, it isn't old. We bought it at Christmas tree shops on one of our outings, as well as the two plates. And here's another one of my little animals, another bear. This one sort of has a grumpy little face. And a wooden fox. It goes nicely with our fox plate. And a sweet little red house. So I think overall it's a mix of modern and rustic, and I think we did a good job. A lovely fire. So let's stoke up the fire and get on to the next tree. So I'm going to just decorate our simple little tree here. Now, this is a pretty sparse tree, but it was given to me by a friend who had an extra one, and I thought, and I wanted it to be more like a natural tree. It actually looks a bit more like a sparse tree I would have cut out of the wood. And I'm also going to do this little mantle as well. But first I'm going to take, I have this little picture I hang here, so I'm going to take that down, and I'm going to just make a quick swag, and I want to show you how quickly I make swags. I literally cut this from the garden this morning. It's some, I think this is almost like an incense cedar. Cut it off my tree. And some holly. 3 pieces. And then I have, I love this, I have these bendy floral wire now that you can get at Christmas time that has the faux pine on it. And sometimes you can find it at the dollar shop. So I have 1 branch, and I just pick out, I look at it before I cut it off the tree to decide, does it have, like this has sort of the pattern of 3 branches, but by just cutting 1 branch. And then I take my pieces of ivy, so I only have 3 pieces altogether. I stick it together like that, and then with this wire, which is almost invisible, I just take that and twist it around, and then I'll add a ribbon to it. And then this also becomes that which I hang it from. So let's just pop a ribbon on there, which is pre-made and has a twist tie on. And there's a lovely swag over the old fireplace. Even though it is a faux tree, I still wanted to keep it sort of natural, so I dehydrated some orange slices, and then I also took some of my lovely quail's eggs and I blew them so they were empty, and then hot glued them to hooks like this to hang on the tree. You remember earlier in the vlog from the pine cones we gathered in my wood, we just hot glued our cardinals and some glittery bits onto here. And I'm saving my other box of Shiny Brights for this tree because they look very old-fashioned. They're gold, red, and silver, and the red has Father Christmas flying, and the gold and silver have Merry Christmas, and the green have a lovely horse-drawn carriage. So I think they'll be really pretty on there. So again, really natural things. And then I'm going to do over the mantle. Now for the mantle, I'm going to be using this antique platter, which was some relatives, we're not sure who, it was at Bunny Hall, and brought there by the original bunny. We think it was her grandmother's. It's fairly old, England. It's just pretty, I just like the browns and the pinks, I thought it would be pretty. So I'm going to use that and kind of build around that. So I'm going to decorate the tree and the mantle, and then we can have a fun look. So let's get started. So we have our little tree decorated. Very, very basic, with the orange peels and a little bird's nest and my real quail's eggs and the decorations we made from the wood. Look how pretty it is when the light shines through the dehydrated orange. They're like stained glass. And my 1950s Shiny Bright, quail's egg, and of course our silly little cardinal arrangements made with hot glue gun and some determination and things from the wood. I just think it's pretty to see the things we made from the wood, my quail's actual eggs blown and hung, and dehydrated oranges, and my vintage Shiny Bright bulbs. And also I just thought a simple tree topper, just the faux nest with eggs. So here we have our mantle. I think you'll remember this little China dog I bought, which you can actually plug into. I got at the Sandwich Antique Mart, so it is, what is plugged into it is our little light strand here. And then do you remember when we went to Country Garden, we got this beautiful glass pine cone ornament and this lovely pine cone ornament? I thought these would just looked perfect on our old fireplace. I do wish this fireplace was working so we could light it, but one day. Of course, I had to use my darling old cook stove. How sweet does it look up there? And with the beautiful old great-grandmother's plate and a little doll's house chair with a gift on. And remember the sweet little penguin? We also purchased that at Country Garden. And of course you remember this sweet little sheep on wheels. We got him on Country Garden. And then some more of my animals, like I have this funny pine cone squirrel that I've had it for years, and this pretty glass bird ornament. So I just thought, in a little galvanized sled. So I just thought this mixture of things looked quite sweet on the mantle. hope you enjoyed today. I know I had fun. It was nice just to hang out here and decorate, have the fire going, feel all the ghosts of Christmas past, including my beloved parents, and of course, however many people have lived in this house since 1718. But it's a joyful time, and during this time of the season, sometimes it can be sad to think of those we've lost. I think this year has taught us to really live in the moment as much as we can, and to appreciate what we have whilst we have it, and to look to the past and find the happiness in it, and to hold those things dear, like Christmas baubles. In thinking of those past, I thought I would share a couple of pieces of artwork of mine, of our dear beloved cat, Puss. When we came to be the caretakers of Bunny Hall, Puss was living in the boathouse, quite feral. She had been fed a bit off and on by the old grandfather before it was our turn to come here, but she had gotten to be rather feral towards the end, just due to various circumstances. But once she warmed up to us and finally moved into Bunny Hall, she was the sweetest cat ever, and she loved to follow me around. She was rather like a dog. She would actually go on walks with me on the beach and in the woods much more than my tiny little Chihuahua would. So I captured her in many paintings, but today I'm sharing my watercolor of her and a sketch that became an oil painting. And much like many of my animals, she became a subject of my artwork. And in remembering the joy and happiness of the time, to try to find our silver linings, I'm very happy and joyful that I can express myself artistically, and to also find a way to remember those who have gone in that vein. So I'm wishing you a happy Christmas. All right, let's get on to the end of this video. But I had a lot of fun here, and I've really enjoyed coming. It's been so nice to sort of give life again to Old Kings, since it's had such a change this year, not being able to rent it out and then being frightened to think about renting it out again. So we'll see what happens in the new year, but I'm so happy that I was able to share it with you, because I really have enjoyed decorating and putting the trees up, and just sitting and having a fire and just being here has been really nice. So we'll see what it holds for us in the new year, and I'm excited to see what my channel holds for me in the new year, and I'm so happy to have met so many of you, and to hopefully meet more of you in the coming year, and that should all be make for a happy new year, I think. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Remember, stay creative. Cheers.